up, guys? It's John Dominique, aka Johnny Run Sport. Want to provide an update as to where I stand today. I'm going to try to combine my run from today and also the run I did, I think it was last Wednesday, March 11. Not sure if I remember everything that happened on that run, but I'm going to do my best to let you know what happened. I'm going to start with today's run while it's fresh in my mind. Got up and did my normal stretching and took my time with the stretches, drank some water, but not a lot of water. I've been working hard at the gym and doing a lot of lower leg exercises and also core abdomens and my back. And I think it's paying off because I did a run today, and hopefully this is accurate, I don't know. I had a pretty solid run today. I felt very steady and solid. And what was interesting was the recovery phase. Usually, like at the end of the run, I feel like trash and I feel like it's really difficult for me to recover. But after today's run, it wasn't half as bad. It felt like pretty decent. You know, I did a walking cool down and I didn't feel so like drained as I usually do at the end of all of my usual runs. I gave myself, a good 2 days of rest between the last workout I did and today's run. So I think that might have something to do with it. Now, I don't know if this is accurate because my phone, my Fitbit is just looking weird. It looks like it only recorded like the last mile of the run. So overall it gave me, I did 3.59 miles. That sounds about accurate, but it's probably a little bit more than what I usually do because I started at a little different place than I usually do today. I started at this garbage can and then I was like, I'm gonna mark this garbage can, and when I go around, that's usually like the 3.3 mile mark. But for some reason, when I stopped today, it was 3.56 and 3.59 miles, and I don't know. I just hope that's accurate. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe something didn't work out with it's been bad weather and the internet connection has been kind of spotty. So maybe it just didn't connect as at the right time or something. I don't know. But it gave me a PR in here. It says my workout time was 25 minutes and 24 seconds to do 3.59 miles. I don't know if that sounds right, but maybe it is. I'd be happy if that's correct because that's a huge improvement and that's making a lot of good progress for me. It says my mile pace was 7:03. I don't feel like I was doing a 7:03 mile pace because that first mile especially, I felt like I was running slow, real slow. But let's see, I didn't really look at what my splits were for it gave me my 3-minute mile mark was 20 minutes 49 seconds. I don't know about that, dude. The first mile says 7 minutes 27 seconds. Second mile 6 minutes 28 seconds. Third mile 6 minutes 54 seconds. I hope that's accurate. That would be fantastic. I want to trust that this is correct because if it is, I was going pretty quick. I didn't feel that fast. Today I wore the Puma Deviate Nitro 2s. These guys here. I kind of changed up the rotation a little bit. I was supposed to do the Adidas SL2s, but those were in my trunk and I didn't feel like going in my trunk, and I wanted to switch it up just a little bit because I kind of do make four, sometimes 5 shoes, rotate 4 or 5, and this is usually like number 1 or 2, or it's number 2 usually, and the Adidas SL2 is usually number 1 spot, but I switched this one and ran this one in today. It was very good. I could feel that plate working, especially on that first mile. For some reason or something, it felt like it was under my foot. I could feel my foot being very steady. Trying to land on that midfoot again, but I tend to over exaggerate my steps, my strides. I'm about 6 feet tall and I tend to take large steps, but I'm trying to make the steps a little bit smaller and land underneath my hips to drive some more power to the ground. So that worked out pretty good on those shoes. I checked my blood pressure today. It's steadying out. It's still pretty high though. Today I believe it's at 130/94. which is actually an improvement for the last time, which I'll show you. The last time, I guess this was March 11. I think I took my blood pressure and I was at 141/93. So it's getting a little better. It's steadying out, still pretty high. And as far as the weather today, it was overcast. It looked like it had rained earlier. It was damp on the ground, but it wasn't wet. And very windy on that first stretch, the first mile and a half, I would say. And then after that, it got smooth. It wasn't very much wind at all, and it was a little bit warm. Now, when I got out there, it said the temperature was like 67 degrees, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like at 50 because the wind was blowing pretty hard. And it always seems to, wind starts to kick in my face anytime I want to go and do a run for some reason. But March 11, I did a run as well, and that run wasn't quite as good. It says I did 3.35 miles, and I don't know. I have to trust that that's accurate too. Well, I'm pretty sure that's accurate because you can see it copied it, traced me from the very beginning of the that whole circle. I do like this one huge circle, and it's traced me from the very beginning, so I can see that that's accurate. 3.35. That sounds accurate. That's about right. That's how all the other runs that I do. That's about the same pace and the same length. But that last one, for some reason, feels a little off from all the others. But the March 11 run, it says 26.05 was my time for that 3.35 miles at a 7:46 pace. That sounds about right to me. That's right where I usually am. And as we can see, let me see if I can get a split for that March 11 run. I did 7:55 on the first mile, and I ran that one a little bit slow, so that sounds about right. And then the second mile was 7:38, third mile was 7:46, and then my overall 3 mile time was 23:19. That puts me right in my normal category, my normal spot. That sounds more average to me about where I'm at right now. So I don't know what's accurate, if the run I did today was very accurate. I hope that it is. I want it to be, but I don't want to get my hopes up too high either. I also checked my weight today. My weight was 167.8. I think on March 11, I also checked my weight. It was like 169.8, something like that. So I'm losing a little bit of weight, and that's normal to be expected because it's a little bit getting warm now and I'm sweating when I do these runs. I kind of did the run early in the morning, not super early, but enough that it's not super duper hot. So that's where I'm at. Also, the run that I did on March 11, I ran in the Salomon Aeroglide gravel, I think Salomon Aeroglide 3 gravel shoes. And the run what I remember about that run specifically, it was hard to pick up my feet for some reason. I just felt like I was plodding through the run. I don't know if I think what happened was I did a workout the day before or something at the gym, and maybe I didn't give myself enough time to recover, because I tend to go hard, and I'm pretty hard on myself, and now I'm trying to get consistent and trying to, do something almost every day, every other day, and trying to make it more workouts during the week. So I don't know, maybe I'm getting older and it's probably a good idea to let myself recover a little bit more, because I'm getting older and it takes a little bit more for my body to recover as I get older. So that's kind of where I'm at as of today. And let me know if you have any comments, questions, suggestions. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, all that good stuff. John Dominique, aka Johnny Run Sports. Peace.